Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the LAS Season 2 Grand Tournament Group Draw. I am your host, Stripes, here with Gibby. Thank you so much for joining me on this wonderful, wonderful group draw.
I'm so excited for this group draw, Stripes. I've been anticipating it all week. I can't wait to see what happens.
I can't wait to see what happens either. But first, we have to go through all the format stuff. It's just standard at this point. It works just like any major international tournament. Just like World, MSI, we have a group draw. Well, last MSI, it wasn't shown publicly, but we have a group draw that we are going to be showing here. Then we go into a group stage, then a knockout stage. Pretty standard stuff, and after the knockout stage, we will be able to claim our Season 2 champions. Will it be the P247, the Boost Bonobos, rebranded to the P247, or will it be a challenger?
So how the group draw show works is that basically there's 8 teams total, 4 from the Legends division and 4 from the Masters division. The 4 Legends division team are, the divisions are like separate regions. They're separated and they have different strategies and skill levels, and they're going to bring different things to the table.
Indeed. With the 4th seed of each Division 2, we had to play through a gauntlet to determine which team made it all the way to the tournament. Other 3 seeds were predetermined based on finishing standing and regular season record to determine 3 and 4. But when it comes down to the group stage, we'll have 2 divisional teams per group. So you cannot have an overly stacked Masters group and an overly stacked Legends group. We're a grand tournament where all the teams join up together. We want to see some interdivisional conflicts. So that's what we got. It will be best of ones, double round robin. The top 2 teams will advance to the group stage. And we have 2 different pools of groups to pull out. The winners of each division will be in pool 1. And everyone else will be in pool 2. That way that each division winner can avoid the other in the group stage and also top their group as the team to beat. I'm super excited.
I'm very excited too. These teams will move on to the knockout stage. The top 2 teams from each group will move on to the knockout stage, and they'll face off against each other. The knockout stage will commence with 2 sets of semifinals, and then followed, which are best of 3s, followed by final, the LAS Grand Tournament Final. The last winner was P247, and we'll see what happens this season.
Indeed, we have some big challengers, and P247 did not have the cleanest run through the Masters division, coming down to the final week to determine literally every single place in the divisional rank seating to see who actually makes it to playoffs. So the Masters division was super close, but what teams actually made it out of the Masters division and what teams made it out of the Legends division? From the Legends division, we have the Verge Esports just dominating for 18-0, including playoff matches, just beating everyone, followed by Guardians of God's Glaze, Flea Familia, and Midnight Gaming Rajin Storm.
Then in the Masters division, we have P247, some would call it the G2 of the LAS, UFA of Gummy Bears, we have Race Car Beds, and my personal favorite team, Monkey and Sons.
Such an interesting team name indeed, and it's super exciting. We had a 3-way tie for 3rd going into the Masters division, and U of A Gummy Bears and P247 highly contested for that 1 seed. So I expect all of these teams to be pretty close, and what teams end up together from that division, those 2 games are going to be absolute bangers of games. I'm super excited to see what they end up. But first things first, we have to see who is going to top each group. Now, as I said, each of the winners are put into pool 1, so they are going to be separated. It doesn't really matter too much, but it's a necessity that we have to run through. And topping Group A is going to be P247, defending champions, hoping to defend their title from the slew of challengers that want to take it from them.
And now it's only natural that the Verge Esports will be placed into Group B. Verge Esports, excellent team. They went 14-0 and in regular season, 18-0 if you count their playoff games. They look to be monstrous. But P247, I can't talk enough about this team. They also look to be monsters of their own right. Except they played much more challenging games compared to the Verge Esports, who are coming up right now, who seem to just dominate everyone that they come in contact with.
Indeed, not to take away from some of the top teams of the Legends division, but the Verge just seemed on a completely different level. Like I said, 14-0 in the regular season, 4-0 in playoffs for a combined record of 18-0. Now they have made their way to the grand tournament, and they are the favorites to challenge P247's title.
And they also have a sick logo.
Indeed, they have a sick logo indeed. The power of Zeus compels them to take on Group B, but we still have to see who each of these two teams will be facing off in the grand tournament. Starting off with the first team pulled into Group A, that team is going to be, drumroll, Guardians of God's Glaze. Ooh, another really strong team from the Legends division. They only lost 4 games the entire season, but all 4 of those games were to the Verge Esports, both in regular season and both in the finals. So I'm super excited to see where they stack up against P247.
Seems pretty lucky that they dodged the Verge Esports then, otherwise they might have lost. Seems like if they can challenge all these other teams, they might be able to challenge a team like P247, who has been more inconsistent than their usual greatness that they showed last season.
Indeed, it's so much harder to judge the definite strength of the Master Division because of how close it was. But keeping it with the Legends division, we have Midnight Gaming Rajan Storm heading back to face the Verge Esports in Group B. They lost in the semis to the Verge Esports. They want revenge, and this is the best opportunity to try and get revenge for the Verge. But also, key thing to state, with the previous rules, there can now no longer be any more Legends teams in Group B because both the Verge and Rajan Storm are from the Legends division, which means Fleet Familia will automatically go into Group A. But the other 3 teams, it's unknown where they're going to go because they could end up anywhere.
Exactly. So let's see who goes into Group A right now. Race Card Beds. All right, this team is one of my personal favorites. When I saw their gameplay, I realized that they're very innovative. As soon as Morgana got buffed, they were immediately playing it. They have some great players on their side with Rav, who's one of the best junglers I've ever seen in this league, and the skill level, and their team is just so stacked and so heavily underrated. I feel like they have a really good chance in this group.
Indeed. They also did manage to take a game off of P247 in the regular season, and they barely lost their semifinals match. They lost 2-1. So this team is still really strong. Don't underestimate them. They are here to make a statement, and I think Guardians of God's Glaze may have their hands full with 2 strong teams from the Masters division. We do have Fleet Familia, but they cannot end up into Group B due to Midnight Gaming Rajan Storm and the Verge already being there, so they'll automatically be slotted into Group A, meaning that Monkey Hand Signs and U of A Gummy Bears will end up going into Group B. Honestly, I think Fleet Familia might struggle. I don't want to count a team out, but Guardians of God's Glaze and the Verge were far and above the two best teams from the Legends division. They seem to have the best shot at challenging these Masters division teams. And because they're in a group with Guardians of God's Glaze, I think that they're going to struggle to maybe even reach that third spot. I would hope to be wrong. I want it to be more competitive, but that's just my early prediction. But going to Group B, we have Monkey Hand Sides, your favorite team, so let's let you take it.
So Monkey Hand Signs, really funny name. They are extremely talented, I'd say, and they fought really hard against teams like P247, and they even beat the preseason champions in Salty Nami Carry, which was pretty impressive because Salty Nami Carry convincingly 2-0'd P247 earlier in the preseason tournament. So they have some really good points, but then they also have some very bad games. So they have very high skill ceiling and a very low skill floor. So let's see what happens with them.
Indeed, and that means that the final team that will officially be slotted into Group B is going to be the U of A Gummy Bears. Now, this is a team that barely ended up losing in the Masters final, or barely ended up squeaking by in the semifinals of the Masters division. However, they almost took games off of P247 in the finals. So they're a really strong team, and it's going to be very interesting to see how they stack up against Monkey Hand Signs and the Verge Esports in particular. And as much as I also don't want to count a team out, Raj and Storm has their hands full. We'll see what they can do. Hopefully, again, I am wrong and it's a lot more competitive than I think it's going to be. But we're just going to have to see how it all shakes out. And these are the two groups that we have.
All right. So on the U of A Gummy Bears, they also are really good at best of ones. The whole entire group stage is best of ones. They went 9-0 at the beginning of the split, and they seem to be really good at this.
And that's going to do it for our draw show. Be sure to tune in tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll have some streams ready for you. Big shout out to all of the LAS staff that helps run this league. All the casters that keep you guys entertained and informed of the league doings going around. And also, congratulations to all the teams that made it to the grand tournament. It's a real accomplishment to make it here, and hopefully you guys can put in some work and give us some pretty good games. Are you excited for tomorrow, Gibby?
I'm very excited for tomorrow. I want to say good luck to all the teams. They definitely all seem like they can challenge each other. I feel like this is going to be much more exciting than last year, and it'll just keep building on each other. And this will be the most impressive grand tournament we've ever had.
Indeed, I'm super hyped up for what's going to transpire tomorrow. We have the first part of the round robin, followed by the second round robin. Then we go into the knockout stages, and this is going to be super fun to watch. So on behalf of everyone from the LAS staff, and I want to big another congratulations to all the teams that made it, and tune in tomorrow, and we'll catch you on the flip side.